Friends, how are you? Welcome to just a chat today that I'm really excited about because yesterday Instagram announced an update and I had planned to just pop on Facebook, have a chat about how I'm using Instagram, how it's kind of changed for me over the last 6 months, and then just like the social media gods just went and gave me a gift with this new update on Instagram, which is absolutely fantastic. It's the 10.9 update, and I haven't seen an update to Instagram this big since goodness, when they added Instagram stories, gosh, like 6 months ago. So this is really great. We're going to get into how I'm using that for my business in just like, the last 24 hours, but how I see the potential to use it for business. We're also going to talk about Instagram pods because I wrote an article about whether or not people should be using Instagram pods. And if you don't know what a pod is, don't worry. We're going to get into that in a second. We're just going to have a 15 to 20 minute chat and I'm going to answer your questions. I don't have any pitches. I just kind of want to geek out about social media and I'm happy that you guys are here. So on that note, I just want to say thank you and I appreciate your time. And now I'm going to be mentioning this once more, but as we move through this conversation, I kind of want to let you know, since we're talking about Instagram, I thought it would be great to have a giveaway. So let's talk a little bit about a giveaway. So lately I've been getting emails from people being like, how do you find things to post on Instagram to make your feed look a little bit more interesting? And as I go out and shop, and it could be random places, I have found just cute things at like bowling alleys and at flower shops and at cute stores as I'm out and about and things online. So what I decided to do was to give one lucky winner an Instagram styling kit. So we're going to be able to send you a hand curated box of goodies from yours truly, and I want to make sure that you can post it out on Instagram. So the way that it's going to work is that we are going to pick one live winner from this Facebook broadcast. And then if you happen to watch this during a rewatch, in the next 24 hours, you can hop on over to Instagram and we are going to be picking a winner from there. So one winner picked immediately during this live broadcast on Facebook and one winner picked over on Instagram. All you got to do is leave a message or a note of what you learned or what you liked, or hey, you just want to just say hi, it's all good. But the idea is simply to connect with people online and in a real way. Okay, but enough with the yapping. Let's get into the meat, the goods of today. Now, I don't know what's going on with my screen, but hey, there's a little bit of a border on these photos. It looks a little ghetto fab. We're going to roll with it. I'm just going to say welcome to the GabFest and Q&A for Instagram. We are going to be talking about the Instagram update, which is the 10.9. So I kind of want to just dive right into it. So what does this mean for your business? A lot of times people are like, okay, well, we get the update, but how do we implement it immediately? So I always love being first to market. Whenever there's an update, I just want to dive right in. Sure, I could look like a fool and I don't really care because the faster you learn, the faster you understand what your audience wants to see more of. So this update came out. I happened to see the update late in the afternoon yesterday. So first thing this morning, I uploaded my first updated story. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, this new update allows you to post up to 10 photos and videos. Now, when I first saw the commercial for this update, they used a story of a birthday party to create an analogy of how you can use it in your business. So let's say you're at a birthday party and you're taking all these photos and videos. Instead of just being relegated to one photo to embody the whole experience or going through the feed and adding photo after photo after photo, now what you can do is kind of create a little photo and video album. So I thought it was really interesting because yes, in a personal capacity, I see how it's very valuable. I mean, more photos to share with friends and family, but from a business perspective, I thought of three main ways that I thought all entrepreneurs can get into and dive into. Now, the first one is going to be more opportunities for engagement. Now, we know that in order for you to stick out in the algorithm, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. You want to make sure that the followers you have are the right followers. These are people who are liking, leaving comments, chatting it up with you, because these people are the people who are active, and it indicates to the Instagram algorithm that it is relevant and that people want to see more of it. So the more people who are interacting with your account, the better, right? So instead of being forced to just one photo in a carousel, not a carousel, I should be very careful. Carousels is also another option that you can use on Facebook and Instagram. So in this like new little update of a photo album, people can swipe, look through the images, and they can like the photos and leave comments. So now you have 9 more opportunities in a single post to get people chatting. So to me, in that perspective, I think it's a total win. The more people that are talking back to you, asking questions, tagging their friends, and sharing the post, the better. So the second thing that I thought was absolutely fantastic was that it keeps your grid pretty. I can't tell you, now I understand. I'm an aesthetic, I'm a photographer. There have been times in the past where I refrain from maybe posting a photo perhaps of me at a concert or me like late at night at a restaurant because the photos are just too dark. They're not a true reflection of my brand. I don't necessarily think that as somebody's going through my grid, that's the picture that I want to represent what it is I'm trying to sell, what it is I'm trying to provide, who it is I'm trying to serve. Now, however, as I upload photos, I can upload one really pretty photo. That will be like the signature photo that people see as they scroll through the grid. And once they start swiping through the images, that is going to be the compelling thing. And I feel like I have a lot more creative freedom to ensure that I'm sharing photos that I want, but still visually the grid stays intact, which I do think is important to growing your account and establishing yourself within the Instagram platform. The third most important thing is that you could tell a better story. So we've learned that in the 21st century, the best form of marketing is storytelling. And so now you have the opportunity, instead of just using a single frame to tell an entire story, which is possible. We see it happen every day. But now you can refine your skills and you don't have to add 10, but perhaps you can add 3 or 4 to articulate. Are you selling a new product, a new service? Do you want to share more of your portfolio without spamming your entire feed? This is your opportunity and a fertile ground to actually put out more content and give people the option of whether or not they want to see more. This is truly powerful. So I had kind of thought, okay, so obviously I'm a photographer, so I think about it from a photographic perspective. And I'll get into how I would use it as a photographer, but I started thinking about different opportunities for entrepreneurs. So I started thinking of a makeup artist. How cool, because when I say makeup art, yes, I follow makeup artists on Instagram. I follow a lot of random accounts on Instagram. I have to tell you, I also follow, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Goats of Anarchy. You guys, this account is, it's life-changing to me. It gives me life. So, okay, this is a tangent. It wasn't planned. But Goats of Anarchy on Instagram, check them out because this couple goes and they rescue baby goats with special needs. You guys, they put these baby goats who've been abused in wheelchairs and walkers and they give them physical therapy. I mean, if you're ever having a bad day, go and check out that Instagram account. Okay, but let's get back to it. So I follow makeup artists on Instagram. And oftentimes what they'll do is they'll post a photo of before and after. But what I do think could be really interesting is starting a basic value-driven content for a makeup artist would be start with a plain face, and then as you're scrolling backwards to the imageries, so on the grid, it's going to be the completed pretty photo. And as people scroll back, it'd be less and less makeup. So now people can see a before and after with a series of steps in between. That really shows the talent of what that artist can do. I think this goes for painters. I think it goes for candle makers. I think it goes for soap makers. If you're selling t-shirts, talk about how once the t-shirt comes off the press, how is it packaged? How is it shipped? Create an experience on Instagram through a multitude of imagery. And the best part is that it increases engagement. You could still keep your grid pretty and you're telling a better story. Okay, I feel like I need to take a deep breath. I'm not talking fast. I just get really nervous, but I'm just gonna roll with this. Okay. So another thing I wanted to mention is if you have questions, I have a team of people who are writing those questions down. They're going to be sending them to me. And like always, if there are certain sections of this conversation that you want to hear more about or learn more, simply click on that like button because that'll give us an indication of where we should dig in deeper when we get that chance. And for those of you who are just joining, don't forget we are having a giveaway. So you can leave a comment here on this Facebook page and you will get a curated Instagram styling kit from yours truly so that you can have something great and amazing and fun, a little piece of the things that I love and will probably also be posting on Instagram. So leave a comment. If you're not watching this live, you can go over to my Instagram account at Jasmine Star, leave a comment there, and within 24 hours, we will pick another winner. So let's get into topic number 2. Earlier this week, I talked about Instagram pods and whether or not they're going to be a good fit for your business. The question I get is, should I use an Instagram pod? And to that, I say to each their own. So what is an Instagram pod? An Instagram pod is a group of people who dedicate to each other that they will leave comments and likes systematically within this little like Instagram ecosystem. So basically, the way that I describe it, it's like a fraternity on Instagram. So you commit to these people and they commit to you. So, if you're interested in an Instagram pod, all you have to do is reach out to a group of people who you know, you like, and you trust. People who you think are going to be down for you day after day to show up and leave comments, because comments and likes and shares, they actually mean a lot for engagement. And engagement, like we just mentioned, helps you rank favorably in the algorithm. So if you are going to start an Instagram pod, here's a few tips that I kind of want to dig into. You want to make sure and keep the pod small. Now, I know that people feel differently about this. People are like, I'm in a pod of 30 or 40, but in my experience from things that I have read, is that when the group becomes too big, it's really hard to manage and know who's leaving comments on a systematic, consistent level. And also, there are some people who use Instagram frequently. They're posting 3 or 4 times a day. And then there are other people who could be in the same pod who only post on Instagram once every 3 days. So the person who's posting less on Instagram has to do a lot more work for the other person on Instagram who's tripling or quadrupling the amount of photos that they're posting. It's more work for some people and less for others. So when you have a group about 8 to 10, you can really tell who's consistently showing up, who's really active, and who's basically down for the ride. I've decided that 8 to 10 is a really great mix. So another tip is decide how the pod will communicate. And this is going to be really important to establish early on. So most people in Instagram pods will be using the DM component on Instagram, but the DM component on Instagram is limited to just 15 people. So if you have a pod of 20 or 25 people, you can't DM everybody at once, which is another reason why you should keep your pod small, but it's neither here nor there. You can use Facebook Messenger or you can use a text message. Either way, the best thing to do is set the parameters in the beginning so that people know what to expect and how they will be hearing from you. So the way that it works is if I was in a pod with you and we were all in this Instagram DM, I would DM that particular post and say, hey guys, I just posted. So everybody should get a notification, and then at that moment, go over to that Instagram photo and leave a comment. Okay, now we have to commit to what's expected. Every group, every pod has different things, but I would highly recommend that what you can expect is to like the photo, comment on the photo, to make sure that you read the entire caption so that you can make the comment personal. That's going to be the key, because the thing is that Instagram does not weigh comments equally. So comments less than 4 words are not weighted as a comment more than 4 words. Less than 4 words isn't weighted the same as a comment with more than 4 words. So when somebody says love it, it's not as much as I love it so much. Those have 2 different weights. Furthermore, when people respond with this series of emojis, that comment is not weighted the same as actual somebody typing in the words to a comment. So if you're a part of a pod, make sure that you know all comments should be more than 4 words. There should not be a string of emojis. Anything more than 3 or 4 emojis, it's not weighted. It's kind of like indexed as a bot or spam. So those are things to consider. Okay, so I feel like I've been babbling. I said I wanted to chat for 15 minutes and then open it up to Q&A, and we are at about that marker. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to, one thing that I didn't get into was to simply say, I don't use an Instagram pod. Now, I had mentioned this a couple days ago, and I said, I don't use an Instagram pod, and somebody had left a comment and said, would you be saying the same thing if you were just starting out and trying to get engagement? And my answer then, and my answer is right this very second, yes, my answer would be the same. I started my business, the first business, back in 2006. This was the advent of blogging. This is what everybody was doing. And in a very similar way, comments on blog were indicative of the types of engagement and the amount of readers that somebody had on a consistent basis. So somebody came up with this idea of creating blogging pods. Does that sound familiar? So that a few bloggers would get together and make the consistent effort to go to everybody's blog and leave comments and have interaction. And I was asked to be part of blogging pods. I am still, but yet even then I was blogging every day, long form. I was a big part of that community. And I didn't want to be a part of a pod because I wanted the conversations to be reflective of the conversations I would have in real life. Similarly, I don't want to have conversations with people who feel like they're forced to have those conversations. I remember going to church as a kid, and my mom would like put me into Sunday school, and she would call like the new kid, or if I was just being extra quiet, she'd be like, come here, Jimmy, come over here, meet Jasmine, you guys have a lot to talk about. And then the 2 of us would sit there like, hi. Like, I don't want that as an adult. Hey, if you want to leave a comment on Instagram, if you want to leave a comment on my blog, great. I will connect with you. And that is the power of actually having sincere and authentic engagement. When somebody leaves a comment on my Instagram, I do my darn best to respond to every single comment. Furthermore, I allocate certain parts of my day. People say, how do I get people to leave comments on my Instagram? The power is you. You are the person who will teach people how you want to engage. So when somebody leaves a comment, you respond back. But if people aren't leaving comments, what must you do? Every day for 10 minutes, I want you to wake up and I want you to go to your followers and I want you to leave comments on their accounts. I want you to search geographic specific hashtags to your business, and I want you to create conversations with people who are just in your area. Are they looking for your product or services? Maybe, maybe not, but at least they know you're there. You must give before you ever receive the thing that you want from Instagram. I know that sounds like some type of biblical thing, it's better to give than to receive. No, but really, it also works in social media. And on that note, I'm gonna get into one more thing. Okay, so if, as a reminder, you guys want a curated Instagram styling kit from yours truly, leave a comment, like this conversation, let me know that you're here, and we're going to be picking a winner live as we do this Facebook chat. And then if you missed this live presentation, what presentation? Wait, what the heck? I'm sitting in my freaking living room. If you missed this live conversation, you guys can leave an Instagram comment and one person will be picked tomorrow by noon. Okay, let's get into Q&A. I'm all kinds of awkward. Okay, so people were asking if they haven't got the update. The update is available for everybody. I think that they've been kind of parsing it out, but it is coming. You will absolutely be receiving it really soon if you haven't received it already. Somebody had left a message. I have an Instagram for business course called Insta 180, and there's a private Facebook group, and people were saying, I didn't get the update. And then this morning they updated their post and said, hey, I got it. So it's coming. So if you don't have it yet, you will have it now. Okay, let's see. Thanks for you guys for reaching out. This is great. A special shout out to those Insta 180 students who are representing Maria, Louie, Denise, Rena, Leah, Adria, and Sarah Beth. Thank you guys for those questions in that group. Y'all show up regularly. Thank you. Elise Sorge. I'm only attracting other businesses who follow and unfollow. So annoying. How can I attract actual people? Great. I see this happening quite a lot. I am not a fan of the follow for follow game. I don't participate in it. If somebody follows me and then unfollows me, that's none of my concern. And my advice to you is try your best. Even though it's hard, don't look at your number count. In fact, one of my really good friends has an app that tells you when somebody unfollows you on any social platform. And I felt like, girl, that is like drinking poison and wanting to be healthy. I don't want to know when people unfollow me because it makes me second guess everything that I'm doing. My advice to you is to continue to put out value-driven content. Who is your client? What are they looking for, and how can your business facilitate that? So let's say that you sell cardboard boxes. Who's buying cardboard boxes? People who are moving, people who want to store stuff. If you're selling cardboard boxes, you must think, when somebody is looking for cardboard boxes, what are they going to Google and searching for? What types of questions are they asking their friends for recommendations? If you can answer those questions on a blog, on social media, making a video, having a podcast, when you can answer difficult questions to make people's life easier, that points back to your business, you will attract real followers. That is the best that I have. And oftentimes people don't like that response because it requires hard work. Guess what, boo? Running a business is hard work. Getting people to pay attention to your business is even harder. But continue to push forward. Okay, Nina Simmons, for videos, I'm guessing the videos are still limited to 1 minute, but does that mean you can upload 10 1-minute videos? Really great question. And I think that it's not 1 minute videos, that they're going to be closer to the 15 seconds from stories. So you can theoretically upload 10 15-second videos. So you can't have a 10-minute video. Girl, that's like Facebook style. If you want a 10-minute video, go to Facebook, not Instagram. Oh, but who knows? Maybe the next update will modify, but as of right now, they're keeping them stories length. Great question. Okay, Madeline. Stanley, how will you be using this new feature to cater to L? Madeline, I love it. Yes. So I tried it out today. So for those of you who don't know, my ideal client profile. I have given my dream client a name. I talk about her. I can explain her to others, and I know what she's coming to my business looking for. So this morning, I thought, as being somebody who's an avid fan of social media and teaches others how to use social media, I uploaded 6 photos that I thought would appeal to an entrepreneur who's trying to learn how to incorporate lifestyle components into their business. So if you go to my Instagram account right now, what you will see is me holding a camera with a lot of Polaroids in the background. Now, if you scroll through, you see me, my feet in a pool. You see a floaty flamingo. You'll see a bright orange door. You'll see a pair of sunglasses. What I wanted to do is create a micro feed that connotates lifestyle components to saying you can run a business and you can still have a life that you love. Whether or not I came out and said that, which I didn't, I'm hoping that visually people are going to start understanding that the more I put out on Instagram, the more I put out on social media to reflect the fact that I am, yes, an entrepreneur, but I'm also a person who enjoys like the goodness of life, the better off I'm going to be. And ultimately, I will attract L as a result. Okay. Macy Spencer, do you think there will be a sweet spot in the amount of images posted with the new feature? Would you use all 10 images or less? Macy, let me deal it to you straight. If they're good photos, use all 10. Hands down. The thing is that if you get somebody to scroll over once and that second photo doesn't draw them in, they will not scroll through 3 to 10. Furthermore, if you are consistently updating with a bunch of photos, and people are not taking the time, or people are clicking and then they see the second or third photo, and then the next time you post the second or the third photo, they're going to fall into a pattern of not wanting to scroll through. So I would be very careful. Just because you can use all 10 images doesn't mean that you should use all 10 images. In fact, today I only use 6, I think. 6 or maybe 7, because I wanted to tell a succinct story and give people what the possibility is. However, from a wedding photography perspective, how phenomenal. When I shoot weddings, I would post 1 or maybe 2 photos from a wedding. Now you can actually tell a micro story from beginning, middle, and end. 10 photos, it's like an online portfolio on social media. I would do 2 bride prep, 1 groom, like hanging out with the groomsmen, because guys don't really care about getting ready, but that lifestyle component of guys drinking scotch or smoking cigars, 1 of like the ceremony, 1 of them walking down, 2 of them together, 1 during the first dance, and 1 party photo. Psh, boo, sell all day, every day. So if you have 10 photos that are good to share and tell a story, do that. You will be winning and slaying. Okay, let's see. Alice Frankowski. With this new update, what advice do you have for keeping up with the aesthetic Instagram style when you now have the options to add more photos? I just started the Insta 180 course. Hey! And I'm trying really hard to add curated photos and write captions with purpose. I'm struggling with having good enough images and compelling enough captions as it is. Do you recommend jumping in the new album format and just embrace it? Or would you recommend saving each photo to bolster the current content and then add more albums as I go? Okay, Alice. This advice is coming one day into this update. Now, my goal and main key will be to keep that beautiful aesthetic and style going, right? So that main key photo should be the screen grabber. It should be the most compelling thing. Now, I even said 10 minutes ago in this conversation that I now feel more at liberty to add not so pretty photos in my feed in this new storytelling component. I feel a little bit more at liberty, and I'm excited to test the waters. However, if after testing it and realizing that people are not responding to it the way that I had hoped, I will pull back and then I will parse out the images as I see fit. So right now, I'm a firm believer of diving in, trying it, let the market, which is my followers, dictate what they want. If they want to see more of that, great. And if they don't, I listen and then I regrade my strategy. And I would highly recommend the same to you. So have that amazing just screen holder, that main pretty photo, and then you can add others if you feel like it enhances the storytelling capabilities. Great question. Okay, so a shout out to all the current Insta 180 members. Much love to y'all. I know we had a little bit of a bounce. It's good to see you guys. I am so thankful. I get the emails and the support, and more than anything, it's not my success story, it's yours. Seeing how you're applying these things to your businesses and growing your Instagram account, honest to God, it just makes my day. So thank you guys for that. Okay, Andrea Marino. Hey, another Insta 180 student. I always find myself stuck with Friday's captions. Any advice? Okay. I actually follow one of my really good friends, Promise Tangeman. She's my graphic designer. And every Friday, she does what she calls like a quirky Friday introduction, where she talks about 3 quirky things about who she is, what she does, her week. And I actually have come into the pattern that she's developed with her followers, and I actually really like it. I'm like, oh, she posted Quirky Friday, and here she'll talk about how she's afraid of, like, I don't know, like capital letters or something like that, some random stuff. But when she develops this, because obviously like Fridays are kind of like a tough day on social media because everybody's thinking about the weekend. So to me, I thought that was a great idea. Friday captions could be, do you have a routine that you do every Friday? Like every Friday up in this hood, JD, my husband and business partner, we go out on date night. Like I think about date night on Tuesday night, be like, oh, what are we doing for date night? What are we doing for date night? So if that becomes a pattern, I would probably, if I was kind of feeling stuck about something, I would talk about what our date night will be. Now, does that seem really personal? Perhaps if you're not comfortable with it, then hey, no worries. But people are actually genuinely interested in the things that you do, because social media has become a way for us to curate our lives and become tastemakers. People want to know what you're eating, what you're drinking, where you're going, where you're shopping. It's all the minutia that didn't really matter in the past that actually matters a lot now today. It builds trust and commonality, and this is how you grow followers who just get what you do, like who you are, and become avid supporters. Okay, Jose Fevrier. I've been wondering whether I should update my Instagram to a business one. I'm worried that it will change the way Facebook did way back when. Jose, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I actually wrote a very detailed blog post. If you go to my blog, jasminestarblog.com, there's a search icon, and if you put Instagram business, this blog post will come up, and I explained all the reasons why I will not switch over to the Instagram for business. Now, there were also a reason why I would. If I ran a different type of business, I might upgrade to it, but all of those reasons are listed there. That would take us on another like 10-minute detour. Jasmine Star Blog, search Instagram business, but the short answer is no. Facebook owns Instagram, and I absolutely think they're going to make these business Instagram accounts exactly like Facebook pages, and they're going to change the algorithm, and it will adversely affect engagement the way that I've experienced that engagement shift over on Facebook. Here on Facebook. Okay. Jessica Grazia Mangia. How often should we use the little photo scrolling? Same regularity as before? Again, this is all hypothesis. I wanted to have this conversation because I love being a fool. I love diving in. I love making a lot of mistakes, learning really fast, and then talking about what's working. Will I use the scrolling component on Instagram with regularity? Probably not. I'm only going to use that when I feel I have a very strong story to tell. If I'm at an event and I don't want to spam my entire feed. So for instance, if JD and I go on vacation, I used to only post 1 vacation photo a day because I don't want to annoy my followers. But guess what? I can post 1 vacation photo a day, but 10 photos within that. So there's going to be certain times that I feel my audience will want more information. As we get into a launch, we're going to be launching a new product, you guys, in a couple weeks. I'm so excited to be sharing what this is. We have a lot of good stuff in store. It's going to be a free video series. Now, as we ramp up my social media endeavors for that, there's going to be opportunities for me to upload multiple photos when I say, hey, join me for this free online class. And as people scroll over, they can now read what the class is about, and I can give them more information to determine whether or not they want to take part. And to me, in my perspective, visual storytelling is going to be the best way to break up the crowd. Do you like what I'm saying? Do you want to learn more? Great. If you don't, peace. Awesome. Move right along. But the people who opt in after knowing exactly what they're getting, they become die-hard fans. Okay, speaking of die-hard fans, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. This has been amazing. We're at the 30-minute mark. I said 25 minutes. Here I am yapping. Lastly, before we pick a winner, you guys can leave a comment and kind of chat it up. So JD is pulling up a name right now from this Facebook. It's all totally random, y'all. I totally put him on the spot. Right now. He's like, oh my gosh. So this is like a big thank you guys for being here and for just showing up. I appreciate it. So JD, no pressure. No pressure at all, dude. None. I'm like dying here because I'm just nervous. And now it's like, this is probably how those newscasters feel when they have to just feel dead air. That's what's happening right now. And I feel like we should have like a drum roll. How are we doing, Jay? How are we doing? Okay, we're doing this, y'all. We are doing this. And Alice Frankowski. Alice, can you shoot me an email, info@jasminestar.com. We'll get your mailing address. Good on you, boo. We're going to send you something within the next 7 business days. And for those of you guys who didn't win, hop on over to my Instagram account. You can check out the new storytelling component. Leave a comment there, and then I'll make sure that I follow up with the winner on that post. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good one.